What's up, everybody? It's Mr. Ashline here. I'm doing a little work around my house right now. I'm trying to fix a wall that I kind of screwed up this summer. And while I'm back here, there's a little bit of electrical work that I want to do too. So I figured now's a good time to kind of show you guys a couple of different things here and continue with class a little bit. So let's take a look at what we have here. I'm going to do my best. I've got just the cell phone right now. I don't have a GoPro or anything here. So we'll give this a go. All right, so here we are in my living room. When I was working on my kitchen earlier this year, kind of screwed up the back side of this wall in a couple places. Like the nails started pushing through from the back side, from all the banging on the opposite side. So I'm just going around and like patching some minor holes and stuff. It looks awful right now, but a couple coats of mud and some paint and all this stuff will just disappear. And also while I was in here, I've got like my TV over here, and behind here is my mount for my TV. And ultimately, I'm supposed to be running all of my AV stuff through the wall and actually into the kitchen and a cabinet inside there. And when I was setting this up, the outlet that came with like this wall plate here, which is recessed so that it doesn't get in the way of the TV, had like a really cheap outlet. So I replaced that outlet with just like a regular one of better quality, but still not exactly what I want right now. Let's see here. Inside here, I want to put this outlet in here, okay? And for two reasons. The first, well, before I say that, the first reason why I'm going to do that is this is a surge protector outlet, okay? This isn't just a regular outlet. This will protect if there's a surge in my house. This is going to protect my TV. And I have a pretty nice TV, so it's definitely worth saving in the event of an electrical catastrophe. The other reason is that this is a square opening, and this is just like a regular outlet, okay? Where this is a Decora face, so that's going to fit in there a lot better, all right? So we need to pull these 4 screws out. This is a box, an old construction box, which I'll show you guys, but there's like little tabs behind each one of these screws that pinch the front of this plate and the back and the drywall in between. I'll show you guys that when I start to pull that apart. But before I do that, I gotta cut the power. Okay, I gotta cut the power because I still got power going. So if we take a look inside, this is just like my electronics tool bag. We've got, you know, and I don't know if this is what a professional will be rocking, but this is what I've got in here. I've got some wire strippers. I've got some lineman pliers. I've got staples so I can attach wire to studs. I've got a tester like we have in class to make sure things are wired right. I have electrical tape. I have some more electrical tape. I have a box cutter. I have another set of pliers, which honestly probably doesn't belong in this bag. Another box cutter, probably shouldn't belong in this bag at this point either. Inside of here, I've got a bunch of like wire ends and stuff for pigtails later on if I need to. Usually I've got a box or a container of wire nuts in here. I don't really know where that is right now. I guess I gotta go digging around for that. I've got a couple of clamps for metal boxes and stuff because that's always helpful to have. And then I have this tool here, which is an AC voltage detector. This thing's pretty cool. When you put it in an outlet that's live, it beeps. It also blinks. Okay, so that's pretty great because you can like test to see, I can't see that, but I can test to see if power's running on things. And this is the way that like I operate on my own when I'm working because I got to turn the power off. I'm not exactly sure what outlet this is, okay? So I'm going to take my detector. It actually plugs straight into the outlet there. Then I'm going to run downstairs to my power panel. All right, so give me a second, I'll get down there. All right, guys, I'm downstairs on my power panel right now. Later on, I'm going to give you guys a lesson about what's going on inside of here a little bit more. But for right now, what I'm really trying to do is find the breaker that powers that outlet upstairs. And like I mentioned, the beeping helps me know, like when I turn off these breakers, it's going to help me know which breaker it is. Can you hear the beeping? I don't know if you can, but I definitely can. And I've got everything labeled over here, and I always try my best to keep it up as best as possible, but it seems like I'm always like chasing down what goes to where, so I definitely like to use that to be sure. It might be 17. That's my master and part of my living room. Nope. All right, give me a second here and I'll find this. All right, so if you can hear that, it's beeping. Turns out that it is breaker 21. Can you hear that now? It stopped beeping. You can also see over here on breaker 21, there's no label. So apparently I've missed that in the past. So future you will thank present you if you jot this stuff down, okay? So I'm going to say TV wall. Okay. So TV wall, ready to go. I've got my power turned off. Now it's safe to go work upstairs. All right. So here I am back upstairs. You can see that the system is no longer beeping at me. It does sometimes when it like gets ruffled and stuff. Like if I shake it randomly, it'll like go off. This might over here might still run. No, that's, oh, yep, see that outlet's still on. But my lights at this point are off. Let's see if this outlet runs. Nope, that outlet's off too, okay? It does this sometimes, it'll chirp for a second, but then it turns off, okay? So that means that the circuit's off. And again, when I touch this here, beeps for a second, it's off. Okay, so we're good. So next thing I need to do is unscrew these 4 screws here. And I'll show you how this mechanism works on the back. It's pretty cool. Again, I'm like holding my phone and drilling all at the same time, so forgive my movement. All right. So the screws aren't out, okay, but they're loose at this point. And yeah, there we go. All right. So let me show you how that mechanism works here because it's cool. When you go to tighten this screw up, this little metal latch here flops forward and it gets stopped right there like on this plastic piece. And in between here and here, you pinch the drywall in place, okay? So this metal bracket can slide all the way to the back there. So when you go to put them in, you fold these metal pieces over, and that allows you to fish the old work box like into the wall. And then when you tighten these screws up, it automatically like causes that metal flap to fold up, and it gets stopped vertically or a little past, whatever. And then it pinches the drywall, like the thickness of the drywall in between. Okay, so that's called an old work box. It's just holding on to the drywall itself. Inside here, you can kind of see these are all of my HDMI cables and stuff, my audio cables running through. You can also see like power running through there. And then over here, we have the box, and this box is like a specialty box for TVs and stuff, and it's mounted to this plastic tray in the front here. So I'm not gonna show you this process here, but I gotta remove 4 screws from around this box, and that's gonna separate the like high voltage electrical here from the low voltage electrical, which is like the HDMI and stuff like that. All right, so give me a minute, but it'll flash by in an instant for you guys. All right, so you can kind of see like how this whole system is. It's like two major pieces. You've got this piece, which has like the area where, again, all the like low voltage stuff will come out of. And then in this opening here, this is where those 4 screws attach to attach this box to the system. So when we look at this here, we've got the outlet. There's the 2 screws in the top and the bottom, you know, similar to like what we see in class typically, right? This looks more like somewhat more like a typical box at this point here. So again, it's time to remove this. So I'm going to take, and again off camera here, I'm going to unscrew both these screws and pull the outlet out. All right, so again, give me 1 second. All right, we're back again. So here's my box. I have my 2 pieces of Romex coming into my box. Typically this box sits up a little bit higher on here, but and inside here we got a couple things going on, right? So first of all, both of my grounds are tied together like we do in class. Because this is a plastic box, we don't need to ground the box. So plastic boxes, that's not a thing. So on the opposite side of the green, right, again, one of these, there's 2 wires twisted together. One of them's really long and it comes way out to here. The other one is in the wire nut itself. I have my ground wire coming out. Okay, that's going to my ground hook there. And then I have my white wires coming in here and my black wires coming into here. So I need to loosen up all 3 of these wires, pull this apart, and then we'll start talking about installing the new one. All right, so here's my old outlet. Yeah, this is just a typical duplex outlet. Couple of things here that you're going to see probably different than what I do here than what's different than what we do at school. So first of all, let's see if I can get this thing to work. So sorry. All right, let's see here. Here, this isn't too bad. So when we look at this thing here, we could loop the wires around like you typically do on that screw there, but this is a type of outlet that, you see that like plate in the back there that's wiggling underneath of that thing right there? So that will pinch a wire in between this plate and here when you tighten up the screw. So some cheap outlets, and actually the reason why I didn't use my original outlet that came with this system is because this was the only way you could use it. There's like a little hole in the back and you push a wire in and you can never pull it out again. No electrician that I've ever met has recommended using those. They all say that they're awful, absolutely awful. But this, they can just push in, but that's because this is tightening up against it, okay? So it's still a mechanical connection. And when you want to know how long to cut your wires, it tells you right here, okay? It actually says, which way does it? Yeah. Come on, focus. There you go. So I don't know if you can read that, but it's a strip gauge. And on this side here, which is definitely hard to see, but there's 2 little like black lines. You put the wire up to the end here and you line it up. Here, let me see if I can show you. Yeah, these wires, like when I line them up here, they basically go to the end, okay? So that tells me how far to strip that back. So when we take a look at this outlet, this outlet's kind of got the same thing, okay? When you tighten up the wires, it tightens that plate back in there. And again, and I'm gonna have to restrip my wires to be the right size, there's a strip gauge right here, you know, which is a little wider, or about as wide as my finger. That's how much wire I need to pull off to safely and reliably connect my wires in here, right? Remember, silver is for our neutral. The gold is for our hots, and then the green is for good ground. Okay, so that's the last one there as well. So let's try and go hook this up. All right. So the first thing I've done here, and again, I had to do this off camera. One-handed doesn't really work very well. Let's see. If you look at this bottom wire, okay, the bottom wire, I've stripped all the wires back to be the length of the strip gauge. Okay, so I've done that with all of them. You know, once you get the hang of like stripping these wires to length, it's not like you got to come back and look at this thing every single time. But every once in a while, especially like as you're learning and you're not super good at like judging distances, every once in a while you come back and you check yourself and you make sure that like you're within this range, you know, within like a certain tolerance here, a little bit on or off. But this is the goal, right? The goal is to be exactly this length. And if you're like a 1/16 of an inch short or a 1/16 of an inch long, that's not a problem, all right? But if you're a lot shorter or a lot longer, then it will be, okay? If you're a lot shorter, you're not gonna make good contact inside the body. And if you're a lot longer, then you're going to have your wires hanging out and you could short circuit and everything else. All right, so if you notice, I've got 2 blacks, 2 whites. We're going to run both black wires. One is going to go into each one of these holes, there and there. Then I'm going to tighten it up. And then the 2 whites are going to go, the 2 neutrals are going to go into here, and then I'm going to tighten that up. And then I'll have to connect the ground up to here, right? And remember, clockwise turns with our wires. All right, so I wish I could show you this like in real time, but I'm going to work on that right now. Hold on. All right, so got both my neutrals hooked up, both my hots hooked up, get everything super tight, and my ground hooked up. Turns out that the ground has the same sort of connector as the others too, so I have that. I cut off the hook and I just put that in there. Now it's time to like do a Z-fold and get this, which you can kind of see that I've already got my Z-fold going on here. I'm going to try and put you in my my sweet shop apron here, and we'll see if you can see what the heck I'm doing. So I'm here. That's fine. So both in the no like systems go so yeah that's a lot. And I couldn't plus the box. All right, so take all my low voltage wires, pass them through here. Again, we gotta get all these tabs. Gotta get all these tabs tucked away inside so that this whole thing fits into the hole. Boom, like that. Okay, now, let's see here. Okay, now when I go to tighten these things up, I'm gonna put my clutch low so it slips easy. Again, those little tabs, they're like flipping up and holding this thing in place. So Nice and secure now. Actually, I can tighten it a little bit more on the bottom. There we go. Okay, nice and secure now. So I'm ready to now go turn my power back on. And now I'll have surge protection on my flat screen TV. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed the lesson. Email me with any questions. Have a great day. Bye-bye.